Records will reveal their newest honour.
And coming up, reveals what it's really like working with the music legends. Was it all sex, drugs and rock and roll? We'll find out.
This Monday, Pink Floyd will release their first album in 20 years, and in what's certainly a bittersweet moment for fans, the band has announced it will be their last ever release.
Yeah, but it's not all bad news. The legendary group has proven they're still at the top of their game, as the new record is officially the most pre-ordered album of all time. So, how did a band from the dark side of the moon go to one of the world's most iconic acts? It's quite the story. They're one of the most progressive, polarising and popular bands of all time. Pink Floyd are truly one of a kind. And despite a career tarnished by friction, the band kept their focus on one thing.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll?
The group's shot to stardom coincided with the rise of psychedelic rock.
The underground movement in London was small as yet. Elsewhere, it has become a great force. Instant theatre, happenings, light and sound shows, psychedelic music are spreading.
In 1973, Pink Floyd changed the game, recording The Dark Side of the Moon. The album left an indelible mark on modern music.
In 1973, after 8 albums, Dark Side of the Moon hoisted Floyd onto a plane of popularity few bands experience.
And while credit goes to the band for the iconic tracks, it was a major team effort behind the scenes with a talented crew supporting the group. One of those men was sound engineer Alan Parsons. Fresh from working with the Beatles, Alan set about finding the sound that would define Pink Floyd. And the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history. Alan Parsons joins us now live from California. Hi, Alan. Pink Floyd's new album comes out Monday.
Hey,
what are you expecting from the Endless River?
I really don't know what to expect. I mean, it's all, of course, after my time. I think a lot of it consists of material when Richard Wright was still alive.
Okay.
But I'm looking forward to hearing it, like everybody else.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to your time, right in the middle of your time. 72, 73, we're talking. You were the audio engineer, Dark Side of the Moon. How did you and the band decide what you actually wanted from the album? Because it was such a specific sound.
We didn't sit down and have a conference and say, here's what we want to do with the album. And it was just a question of taking the songs and getting the best possible results. But, you know, back then, you know, the band were a band. They were playing together. I would be a fairly solitary figure in the control room, you know, while they were out there playing. You know, I mean, all 4 of them playing together. It's almost unheard of these days that a band records like that. Everybody tends to do everything piecemeal and do everything one by one. But
and yet your work nominated for a Grammy.
It was a band effort.
Yeah, and yet your work nominated for a Grammy. I mean, how did you get those epic sounds?
Well, I wish I knew, because if I could recreate them with somebody else, I'd probably become a millionaire. But, I don't know. We just followed our instincts. I think it was a good team. The band and myself. There was no other producer per se. It was produced by Pink Floyd, and I was the engineer.
Okay. So you also worked with the Beatles on their legendary Abbey Road album. What was that experience like?
Well, it was fairly life-changing. I mean, you know, Pink Floyd was of course life-changing too. But you know, to be associated with you know, the last album to be recorded by the Beatles, that was quite a moment for me. It really was. Yeah.
Do you have a fave to work with? Or is it like trying to choose children?
Do I have a what? Sorry.
A favourite?
A favourite song. Probably the medley on you know, the songs that run into each other. I think that you know, You Never Give Me Your Money through to the ending. You know, I think that's a lot of people's favourite, that one.
Yeah, that was always good for when I was working in radio. They were the ones, because you knew you had time to go out to the bathroom, make a cup of tea and come back, because that was still going. Hey, what was the most? You know, we talk a lot about.
It wasn't very radio friendly, that's for sure.
Right. We talk a lot about the sex, drugs, and rock and roll era. What was the most debaucherous
moment that you sort of came across in the process that you're happy to talk about now and know that legal action won't follow?
I remember the sex and the rock and roll, but if I remember the drugs, I probably wasn't there.
Yeah, good answer. That's a good answer.
Alrighty then. So what do you like more, staying behind the scenes, being front and centre? Because we talk about your own band, the Alan Parsons Project, of course. Yeah.
Oh, good to hear the word project pronounced project, because everywhere else in the world it's project. So I like project.
What did you like more? Do you think when you were involved in the project, did you enjoy? Did you think maybe I'm happier behind the scenes, or I love being out here front and centre?
You know, I started just like all my other previous work had been as engineer and producer. I was more involved in the composition, of course, with my ex-partner, the late Eric Wolfson. But it only developed into a live act much later. It was in the mid-90s that we first actually put a band on the road and took to the stage. So it took a while to you know, transgress from the recording studio into the live stage.
Well, some tremendous music, very memorable music came from that era, and you were right there in the thick of it. Thanks for joining us this morning. Good to catch up.
Very welcome. Thank you.
Now, ahead we're going to have